Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to the Men Save Your Marriage show. My name is Terry. I'm your host. I did an autopsy on my failed marriage, and now I use the lessons that I learned to coach other men on how to save their marriage before it fails. I'm going to share with you the things I wish someone would have shared with me before my marriage failed. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome back. And welcome back into the Men Save Your Marriage podcast. This is episode number 37, and we are continuing on in the series Rebuilding Intimacy and Emotional Connection. Today, episode 37, we're talking about love languages. Speaking her language, not yours. So again, welcome in. You just heard the bell. That means it's time. We're in the ring, you and I, not to fight each other, not to fight your wife, but to fight for something worth saving, your marriage, your family, your legacy. I'm here in your corner. You're not alone. Let's get to work, shall we? All right, so let me lay it out straight. You might be loving your wife with all of your heart and still leaving her feeling unloved. Why? Well, because you're speaking your language, not hers. Most men operate like this. They think, I work hard, I provide, I fix things. Why doesn't she feel loved? Because effort doesn't equal connection if it's not received the way she needs it. Let me say that again. Effort doesn't equal connection if it's not received the way she needs it. Imagine standing in front of her, pouring your heart out in a language she doesn't understand. It's not that you're not trying. It's that you're speaking Japanese and she only understands English. In this episode, we're unpacking the 5 love languages, not just in theory, though, in practical boots-on-the-ground action. You're going to learn how to discover her language, how to use it intentionally, how to lead with love, even if you feel like you're not getting anything back right now. So let's get to it. As always, I'm going to come at you with 3 major points, and we'll go from there. Dig into each one of these quickly, and then I will get you out of here to send you on your day. Point number 1. Most men default to their own love language. Now, every man has a default setting. Maybe for you it's physical touch or acts of service or maybe words of affirmation. So naturally you show love that way. That's the water you're swimming in. You don't even realize it. But here's the truth. Just because you're giving love doesn't mean she's receiving it. You might be mowing the yard, fixing the faucet, working 60 hours a week to show love. But if her language is quality time or words of affirmation, your efforts feel like background noise to her. It's like giving her steak when she's starving for water. When she's dying of thirst, the steak is not going to do it. It's not that she doesn't appreciate your efforts, it's that they're missing the mark. So here's a simple picture. Imagine a father buying his son an expensive guitar for Christmas when the boy really just wanted 10 minutes of his dad's attention. Or maybe an afternoon of just throwing a ball around in the backyard. The guitar is nice. The guitar is elegant. It's expensive. It's all of the things that you would look for in a guitar, but it wasn't what the boy was after. See, love given the wrong way doesn't meet the need. And it can even make the gap between the two of you feel wider. She may not be rejecting you. She's just not getting filled. And there is a huge difference between the two. So you have to make sure you stop speaking your native love language and start speaking hers. That is leadership. That is sacrifice. That's what a man does when he wants to win her heart again. If you want to lead her heart, you have to learn her heart. Did you hear that? If you want to lead her heart, you have to learn her heart. Now, point 2, study her like your mission depends on it, because it does. You wouldn't approach your job without training, would you? Whatever your career is in. You wouldn't rebuild an engine, for example, without specifications, right? You need to have some information. You need to know some details in order for you to do a good job at it. So why would you try to rebuild a marriage without learning the most basic intel? The most basic intelligence you can have is what makes her feel loved. Not what you do to express love, but what makes her feel loved. Just ask her. Watch her. Take notes. She is your mission. If you want to save this marriage, understand her heart is your mission, and you've got to know how to speak to that. So what makes her light up? When does she seem most at ease? What compliments does she remember and bring up later? What complaints does she repeat? These are all signals. These are all directional arrows pointing you to the answers you need. And here's a quick, we'll call it a pro tip, if you will. Her frustrations aren't attacks. They are clues. Maybe we need to sit down, take a few minutes, and write down the things you've heard her express frustrated about over and over and over again, because you may be able to solve some serious issues quickly just by speaking the right language. Again, that pro tip, her frustrations aren't attacks, they are clues. So, what is it? Is her love language words of affirmation? In other words, does she need to hear that she matters to you? Is it acts of service? Does she light up when you take something off of her plate? Is it quality time? Does she want undivided attention without your phone in your hand? Is it physical touch? Does she relax when you hold her without pressure? Or is it receiving gifts? Does she appreciate thoughtfulness in little surprises? So here's a quick field guide. If she gets frustrated when you don't help out around the house, if she seems distant after you miss a date night, if she gets unusually excited when you surprise her with a small treat or a note, those are all signals. Her love language is your playbook, and you need to use your playbook. This isn't about guessing. It's about learning and leading. It's about seeing her not as an enemy, but as the mission. She is not your enemy. She is your mission, so that you can lead her heart and lead it in a way that works for her. All right, before we move to the final part of this episode, and point 3, an opportunity and a mini challenge for you this week. You ready? Your marriage is struggling and you know it. It's not what it used to be. Maybe it's barely alive. She's checked out emotionally. Maybe you have too. I've lived this. I let it get worse before I did anything. Don't make the same mistake. If you're tired of watching your marriage bleed out in front of you, it is time to step up. I built the 7-day marriage reset challenge for men who are finally ready to lead. Are you ready? Start today. Go to mensaveyourmarriage.com/reset. That is mensaveyourmarriage.com/reset. It is free to join the 7-day challenge. Do it now. mensaveyourmarriage.com/reset. All right, now the mini challenge. Before we move to this next point, here's a real world assignment. This week, give your girl a love language survey, maybe, if you want to call it that, without calling it that. Ask her casually things like, what's something I do that really makes you feel cared for? Or ask her, if I could do more of one thing to show you love, what would it be? If you just ask one of or both of those questions, you're going to start to see a roadmap before you on how to lead her heart effectively. Once you ask the questions, shut up and really listen. You are gathering intelligence, not defending yourself. And if you're going to be the leader in your home, understand leaders learn before they act. So that's your mini challenge this week. Now, point 3. Lead in love even when it's one-sided. Here's the tough part. She may not be speaking your love language right now. You might feel like you're pouring into her and she's giving you nothing back. And that, gentlemen, is the test. Right there. That's when boys quit and men rise. Do you love her based on what she gives you, or based on who you've chosen to become? You don't love to get. You love because it's who you are now. You are a man who leads, period. Lead in love because you're the man who does what's needed, not the man who waits for a reward. Years ago, a man told me that he started writing small sticky notes for his wife, affirmations. He would leave them on the bathroom mirror. She didn't acknowledge him. He would leave them, laying on her bedside table. She didn't acknowledge him, not once. This went on for weeks, but he was determined, so he just kept doing it. 3 or 4 months later, he found a box in her closet one day. Turns out she had kept every single note. See, you have no idea the seed you're planting in her heart today that won't be seen until much later. And when she starts to feel seen and understood and loved again, she'll begin to soften. But you have to go first. It is time for you to lead. All right, as we wrap up this episode, I want you to understand that loving her your way might feel good to you, but it won't move the needle unless it lands with her. You've got to learn her language. You've got to speak it fluently. You've got to do it consistently, especially when it's inconvenient. And honestly, love that costs you nothing isn't worth much, is it? So yeah, it's going to be inconvenient. But that's how connection is rebuilt. That's how trust is regained. That's how intimacy is restored. Brick by brick, word by word, gesture by gesture. So before we leave, don't just nod your head and move on. Do something. Text her right now and say, what makes you feel most loved by me? Now, you may need to reframe that question for your wife, but ask her the question, what makes you feel most loved? Then shut up and listen. And whatever she says to you, gentlemen, take it seriously. If this episode hits hard, subscribe and leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your episodes from, please. And share it. You've got somebody else in your life who is struggling, and they're maybe trying hard, but maybe they need to stop trying so hard and start trying smart and understand her language. So share this episode with them. And as a final thought, gentlemen, if she's not feeling loved, it's not about how hard you're trying. It's about whether or not it's landing with her. Love is not what you say. It is what she hears. So make it count. I thank you, gentlemen. I look forward to seeing you or hearing from you over this episode. Please, again, share, rate, review, and I will see you in the next episode right here on the Men Save Your Marriage podcast. This is Terry. You guys have a great day.